Russia's President Vladimir Putin says he agrees in principle with the US proposal for a 30-day ceasefire in Ukraine.
Former Polish President and Nobel Peace Prize laureate Lech Walesa discusses Russia's invasion of Ukraine in an exclusive interview with Euronews.
Belgian police raid the Brussels headquarters of Huawei and make some arrests as part of a corruption probe linked to the European Parliament. Russia's President Vladimir Putin has said he agrees in principle with the US proposal for a 30-day ceasefire in Ukraine. But he said some of the terms still need to be worked out and that the deal should pave the way to an enduring peace.
Сама по себе идея правильная, и мы, безусловно, ее поддерживаем. Но есть вопросы, которые мы должны обсудить. И думаю, что нам нужно и с американскими нашими коллегами, партнерами на этот счет переговорить. Может быть, с президентом Трампом созвониться и вместе с ним пообсуждать. Но сама по себе идея закончить этот конфликт мирными средствами нами поддерживается.
Putin also said any deal should tackle what the Kremlin calls the root causes of the conflict. That's thought to be a reference to Ukraine's wish to join the NATO military alliance, something Moscow has said it won't tolerate. Also expected to be a topic Moscow and Kyiv won't agree on is what happens to the territory Russia seized during the war. Putin didn't mention Moscow's occupation of Ukrainian territory or the atrocities committed during the full-scale invasion, now in its fourth year. Ukraine agreed to a US proposed month-long ceasefire on Tuesday only if Russia abides by it, following negotiations in the Saudi Arabian city of Jeddah.
Former Polish President and Nobel Peace Prize laureate Lech Walesa addressed the situation in Ukraine and spoke of the Ukrainian people's struggle to end the war in an interview with Euronews. He expressed concern over the conditions under which Ukraine is being pressured into reaching a ceasefire.
Obawiam się, że zmuszą Ukrainę do kiepskiego kompromisu. Tylko że znów, logicznie patrząc na to, to będzie strata 6 do 10 lat według moich obliczeń. I potem to się wszystko odwinie.
If we don't defend democracy, demagogues and populists will set the world on fire, stressed Walesa, referring to the threats facing Europe and the world.
To, co robi Ukraina, to wynika z rozwoju cywilizacji naszej. To, co robią i Rosja, i nawet Trump, to jest wstecznictwo. To jest cofanie się w rozwoju.
He also emphasized that European defense is meant to act as a deterrent with a goal of changing Russia's attitude to avoid a spillover of the conflict in the wider region.
Dziś musimy bronić się, musimy ochronne parasole robić, ale tylko po to, żeby tam nastąpiła refleksja, żeby tam nastąpiły zmiany systemowe i tak dalej. Tylko po to należy robić, a nie pokonanie, nie zwycięstwo, bo tu zwycięzców nie będzie. Wszyscy będziemy pokonani.
The former Polish president expressed hope that just like his Solidarity movement installed democracy in Poland in his era, the next generation will work hard to protect and maintain it.
Belgian police has searched the Brussels headquarters of Huawei and several homes in a major corruption investigation linked to the European Parliament. According to reports, 15 current or previous MEPs might be targeted in the case, and some arrests have been already made. Investigators suspect that members of the network received bribes in exchange for influencing EU decision-making in Huawei's favor.
This comes as no surprise because in the wake of Qatargate scandal, the Parliament simply didn't put in the necessary reforms that they should have to prevent the next scandal, and here we are today. Until there are rules in place that prevent gifts being received, travel being paid for, lucrative side jobs to be had by MEPs, there will always be this risk.
Belgian prosecutors sealed the offices of 2 assistants to MEPs and notified the Parliament's president about the proceedings. The Parliament's press service said they will cooperate with the investigators. The European Parliament's reputation suffered a serious blow 3 years ago when a corruption ring working to promote the interest of Qatar was dismantled. One thing is for sure for this EU institution, there will be a huge reputational damage in the coming weeks. Sándor Zsíros reported for Euronews in Brussels.
The Congolese government is to meet with the Rwanda-backed M23 rebels for peace talks in Angola next week. Tensions escalated between the two after the militant group took control of the strategic Congo city of Goma in January. M23 is one of the around 100 armed groups that have been vying for a foothold in mineral-rich eastern Congo. The announcement comes after several cancelled peace talks hosted by mediator Angola that had previously excluded M23 rebels and instead focused on their Rwanda backers. The conflict between the two has created one of the world's most significant humanitarian crises, with more than 7 million people having been displaced.
At least 11 people were sent to the hospital with injuries after a 4.4 magnitude earthquake struck Naples. One woman was injured after part of a ceiling fell. Several buildings were damaged, including a church and a 7-story residential building. The tremors loosened stone and cement on facades, and fallen rubble fell on multiple vehicles. The earthquake struck at a depth of roughly 2 kilometers underneath the town of Pozzuoli. Many people were woken up by the tremors at night and fled to the streets or spent the night in their cars. The first tremor was followed by several minor ones with magnitudes recorded up to 1.2 on the Richter scale. Seismologists reported an increase in activity in the area recently. Last summer, authorities carried out drills in preparation for potential future emergencies.
This French military vessel is hunting naval mines as part of an exercise dubbed Ariadne, commanded by the Greek Navy. Teams from the US, Romania and Belgium are also taking part. On board each ship are mine clearance divers and specialized drones. We caught up with Commandant Méline of the Capricorn to learn more.
Le scénario est donc un pays mino-Asland qui est prospère et qui a une faction terroriste qui aurait effectué du minage sur les zones. Et donc l'objectif de notre task group, c'est d'intervenir sur une résolution de l'ONU pour aller garantir la liberté de circulation des zones maritimes dans les eaux territoriales du Mino-Asland. Chez les Grecs, il y a donc une frégate à bord duquel se trouve le chef de la task force, également un bâtiment base de plongeurs roumains. Et enfin, participent également à cet exercice des équipes de drones sous-marins américains et belges.
This sort of painstaking work, nowadays primarily used to clear mines that have been used in conflict since the First World War, or to secure theatres of operations before the deployment of other military vessels, is about to undergo a revolution, as next-generation naval drones should come online in a few years and replace the need for this demagnetized ship to navigate over underwater minefields, which puts dozens of sailors' lives at risk. The French military is currently testing such a drone. This anti-mine warfare exercise is also aimed at fostering cooperation among NATO maritime forces and, crucially, boosting interoperability, a key goal of the military alliance since the outbreak of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine.
Les chasseurs de mines français sont intégrés donc dans les task group OTAN permanentes qui sont stationnés en Méditerranée ou en océan Atlantique. Le Capricorne a participé à l'exercice Steadfast Start 2025, qui est l'exercice majeur de l'OTAN pour l'année 2025. Nous retrouverons le TG OTAN aux alentours de Rota pour participer à un autre exercice à l'invitation de CISPOL. Et les chasseurs, il y a également un chasseur de mines français qui est intégré à la TG OTAN.
Alice Tidy for Euronews, off the coast of Crete.
European space probe Hera flew by Mars and its moons, capturing unique photos from a new perspective. Hera photographed the surface of the red planet as well as the face of Deimos, which is a smaller, more mysterious moon out of the two.
We have some nice images from the side facing Mars, but this is one of the very rare and I think maybe of the best resolution we have so far of the far side of Deimos.
The flyby was part of Hera's trajectory towards Dimorphos, an asteroid that NASA deliberately crashed into 2 years ago to deflect its course. Hera will then analyze the impact NASA's spacecraft had on the asteroid. During the flyby, the space probe used the gravity of Mars to be launched deeper into space, shortening its time by months and saving a significant amount of fuel.
Euronews is celebrating the launch of its Polish language service, the newest addition to Europe's leading multilingual news platform. With a commitment to delivering trusted and impartial news, Euronews Poland said it has started to provide Polish-speaking audiences with essential coverage of global events and key stories shaping the world. A formal ceremony is being held in the Polish capital, Warsaw. According to Euronews, the milestone event, which coincides with Poland's presidency of the European Union, offers a unique moment to reflect on Warsaw's significant role in shaping Europe's future and its contributions to a united, forward-thinking Europe. With its presidency of the EU, Poland is tasked with guiding the EU's Council's work and representing all member states in negotiations with other EU institutions. The spot rotates among the EU's 27 member states every 6 months.